Can you imagine being one of the best players to have ever done it in whatever sport it may be, and you find yourself in free agency? That means without a club or a team with which you can call your own. Well, that is exactly the plight that this man, Cristiano Ronaldo, finds himself in after it's been a little over a month now that his contract with Manchester United was terminated, and he's still yet to find a club. Don't forget, he played Portugal's entire World Cup campaign without actually being attached to a club, and though there were a lot of rumors attached to his name, so far, as of this recording, as of the recording of this particular video, he remains without a club. Unbelievably, despite being a player who's won 5 Ballon d'Or trophies, who's won countless, club honors with Real Madrid, with Manchester United, with Juventus, don't forget 5-time Champions League winner as well, and is of course also someone who's won the Euros and the UEFA Nations League with Portugal. He finds himself not wanted, or at least struggling very hard to find a new home after rather acrimoniously exiting his last home. But why exactly is that the case, and how is it that this situation can get resolved? Well, that's something that we are going to look to talk about in this particular video. But before we delve into the future, it's important to look at what exactly it is got us in this situation to begin with. Now, a year after Ronaldo's homecoming of sorts to Manchester United, he ended up, of course, he was a key part of them actually doing as well as they did, or rather doing whatever it is that they did in the 2022 season, and he was also joint top scorer in the English Premier League. Unfortunately for him, what happened afterwards was that he ended up becoming essentially a super sub under the new manager Erik ten Hag. That was something that clearly did not sit very well with Ronaldo, and thus he ended up having a rather explosive series of interviews in which he hit out at not just Erik ten Hag but also the club's owners, saying that they don't care about the club, they're not really focused on the footballing side of things. There was a lot of singing that happened, and of course that's something you would know because it became so popular both on the internet and dominated even news cycles and news talk shows. After that, his contract with the club was terminated. It happened just before the FIFA World Cup, and so it was of no surprise really, considering the fact that this wasn't some sort of a mutual ending of the deal. United found him in breach of contract thanks to the fact that he was going out there and bad-mouthing the club, and so said, okay, that's it, your contract with us is done. That means Ronaldo was in free agency and didn't really need to wait for the January transfer window to arrive to actually announce a new club for himself. Yet the January transfer window is very, very close to opening, and as things stand, he hasn't found a new club yet. Now, unfortunately, one of the reasons for that would be the fact that he didn't really have the most memorable of FIFA World Cups. Remember, 2022 was seen by many as the last dance for both Ronaldo and Messi, and whilst Lionel Messi ended up winning the World Cup with Argentina, Portugal and Ronaldo had a tournament to forget. In fact, for Ronaldo, if you look at it just by himself, he only ended up scoring 1 goal in the group stages, and that goal too came from a penalty. It was in the first match against Ghana. That was it. In fact, his performance in the group stages in general was so poor that he was actually named in the worst playing 11 of the group stages by some publications. And to make things worse, in the last knockout game of the group stages against South Korea, he ended up gesticulating to a particular player when he was being substituted, and the attitude that he had when he was being subbed was really less than ideal. It incensed Portugal manager Fernando Santos to the point that Ronaldo was actually dropped to the bench for both of their knockout games, the round of 16 game and of course the quarter-final. Now, in the game, that was something that didn't really matter all that much because, well, his replacement Gonzalo Ramos ended up getting a hat-trick, and Portugal breezed past Switzerland into the quarterfinals. Unfortunately, come the quarterfinals, they lost a very close game to a Morocco side that would end up finishing 4th this year, and actually end up stunning everyone with the kind of progress that they made. And one of the reasons they were able to make such good progress against this Portugal side was that even with Ronaldo on the field, Portugal didn't really look like much of a threat. In fact, Morocco's defending was so good that they managed to cut off the supply to Ronaldo. So Ronaldo, without actually being fed balls on a regular basis, I can struggle to impact. Was what was happening. Didn't help that he himself was so rusty that the 1 or 2 good chances that did come his way, he didn't end up finishing. That's not exactly the kind of glowing endorsement or the kind of glowing endorsement that you can make for yourself if you have such a poor World Cup, teams aren't exactly going to be clamoring to sign you, no matter what value your name carries in the world of football. Also, it is worth noting that he has had one concrete offer come his way, but it hasn't been from a top European club. It's been from Saudi Arabian side Al Nassr. Now, Al Nassr had been angling to sign him since before the FIFA World Cup took place itself, and there had been a lot of talk about the amount of money he would be making, the length of contract they wanted. It was pretty clear Al Nassr were and still are pushing very hard to get Ronaldo to agree to sign with them. However, as things stand, the offer still very much remains on the table, but Ronaldo hasn't accepted that offer. Why? Because he wants to actually be playing in the Champions League still. He believes that his numbers and the way he's been performing should be good enough to merit him a place in the starting 11 of any club playing in the Champions League. There's just one small problem with that. It's that no European clubs are actually looking to sign him as things stand. And that brings us to the major problem when it comes to Ronaldo. Yes, he does in fact still offer you goals, but the baggage that he comes along with is something that more and more clubs are now reluctant to agree with, especially considering the fact that it does appear as if his best playing days are very much behind him. Even if you look beyond the drama that he brings, it's pretty clear that he's lost a few yards of pace and that his razor-sharp finishing doesn't remain quite as sharp if he's used as a bench player. So you need to be playing him regularly, but can you be affording to do that when he barely runs, barely presses, is not going to be making any kind of defensive actions? Are you going to ask the entire team to compensate for that lack of running when it seems pretty clear that Ronaldo of this day and age isn't the Ronaldo that he was even say a year back? With Leo Messi and what you saw with Argentina, yes, he wasn't running quite as often, but the moments of brilliance that he was creating, he was he was their main goal scorer. He created most of their goals, and even beyond just the goals and assists, he was their main force driving them forward. Could you say the same about Ronaldo with Portugal? Not really. And that in fact is one of the main reasons why Ronaldo still finds himself clubless, despite the fact that he really should have clubs clamoring to sign him now, considering he's available for no money. That's right, he's available on a free. In fact, if a club wanted to sign him right now and he agreed to the deals, the deal could be announced right now. There's no restriction whatsoever yet. As things stand, Ronaldo is still holding out hopes that maybe, just maybe, one of Europe's top clubs decides to give him one last chance. But the more the clock ticks, it clicks not only for father time for Ronaldo, because it realizes that, father time is such a thing that doesn't really wait for anyone. Ronaldo isn't getting any younger, but as time ticks on, it does seem less and less likely that any of Europe's top clubs would be interested in signing a superstar for sure, but one who's clearly aging and brings with him way too much drama to actually make it worth having him in the squad, regardless of the fact that he can still get you at least 20 goals a season. But that's just how I feel about this entire matter. What do you guys think? Well, you can let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to tap the bell icon so you know when we're going live or uploading a new video for you guys. You can also go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and last but not least, don't forget to download the AajTak app. Thank you all once again for joining us. I hope to see you with us through the day on Sports Today, but for now, goodbye.